Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Business Power Hour with Darren, Dimples, and the Music Man. Me. Hey, Dimps.
Hey, Mr. Music Man. How you doing this evening?
What's going on?
How are you?
Well, good. What's it? Two ladies. This is a true story. These two ladies at a network meeting came over to me, and he said, your show was really good, but we missed Dimples. Good evening, everybody. I just got the finger from Jim. It's all part of the story.
Right. Hey, everybody. It's Darren from the Business Power Hour. I'm not going to be in the studio tonight. I'm traveling.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, except Darren's not here.
I'm here.
No,
I'm
you're
right
not
here.
Does anybody see that? Darren is not here. Darren is away.
I am right here, right
quiet
next to
for
you.
a second. You're not here. Well, I don't know if you got lucky.
Not the really interesting question.
That's a fantastic question, Norman.
Wow. See, I got fantastic. You just got good. I got fantastic.
Show's about him, so let's focus on that.
Were
you drinking before the show?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
There we go. We got it.
Let's go.
No, it's...
Now we got fluff.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Smother it.
So, I think this is a music thing.
It's making noise.
It's making music.
Is it?
Yeah. That's so sweet. That's so sweet of you, Darren.
By the way, this is a Yankee station.
It's a
Thank
Yankee
you.
station. John,
Thank you.
it's a Yankee station.
All right.
Unfortunately...
We got bugs in here. What's going on?
I don't know.
Do you spray? Get an
It's
exterminator?
that time of year where you're getting bugs and stuff. As long as we don't have bees, I'm good.
Yeah, all right. That's
But...
We have a lot of undulations out in the field. Undulations.
Is that a wine?
What the
hell is undulation?
Fred, don't use big words. Hey, right? So this...
Help.
I gotta give him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
A cough
Because-
button would be a good idea. Consider that a good question that he asked?
Great question.
There
There you go. I got
Pythons
one.
and brains.
You're double D?
I'm double D. Show's about him, so let's focus on that.
Hey, give me some. Give me some loving.
How are you, Music Man?
Hello, Darren. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm
this
absolutely convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that
telling
you
you.
got some kind of brain damage when you had that thing last year.
I'm telling you that, and he called.
Not classy, but classy.
Seeing interviews by Darren and the Music Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Cioffi and Norman Wasserman.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition on Tuesday. Hey,
What the
I
heck?
had this.
Okay,
I said
go ahead. I'm
Wednesday
sorry.
on Tuesday.
Wednesday on Tuesday.
I did
okay,
that.
yeah.
You see, you get your feathers ruffled all the time. So you see, and by the way, to our guests, that's what we were talking about with going at each other a little bit, so that everybody will know and be comfortable.
Right.
Anyway, it is Tuesday evening. We have a very, very exciting show tonight. We have an organization called AACLD, Adults, Children with Learning Disabilities, and we're very happy to have them in here this evening. We have Robert Cioffi, that is the Executive Director, and we have my friend Amy Keegan, who is the Director of Development and Community Relations. There's that big smile. Come on, Robert. I want to see that smile. Okay.
That's who he's
Amy,
Robert, he was talking
Amy
to you. He
thinks
wasn't
I was talking
Amy.
to her. I wasn't talking to her. And we want to give I want to give a special shout out to one of your working associates, Heather Agstrike. Is that how she pronounces it? Right?
It's a tough one, Angstreich.
Yeah, that's it. Easy for you to say.
Close enough.
But we welcome you very much to be here this evening, and we want to offer you to talk to your world and to people that don't know exactly whom you are and what you do. And Heather, with all due respect, I think we're going to start off with your boss, Robert. All right. So, Robert, welcome.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the show, guys. So, Robert, tell us a little bit about AACLD, what you guys are all about, what you guys do.
Okay. So ACLD is an organization that provides services for adults and children with learning and developmental disabilities. We are in over 100 locations in Nassau and Suffolk County. We provide residential settings in over 50 locations. We provide adult day program services in 10 locations. We have 2 preschools in Bayshore, and then we provide a numerous variety of community supports for people that have disabilities that still live with their families, whether that be something called community rehabilitation, where staff members go into the houses and take their loved ones out for community outings. We also provide respite stay, so we could provide staff that go into the homes as well and give some respite to the family members that may be taking care of their loved ones on a day-to-day out basis. We've been in business.
Do you also have group homes?
Yes, all our residential homes, we call them residential homes, but back in the day they were called group homes. They're both
I'm
Irish.
dating myself.
Yes, so we're in over, like I said, 50 locations. We've had some significant expansion. We provide services for over 400 individuals in our residential program alone. In our 2 preschools in Bayshore, we provide services for 154 children. And in our day program, we provide services for over 530 individuals in our adult day program services.
When you were a young man, and where did you grow up by the way?
I was born in Queens Village. I lived there till I was about 14 years old. Then I moved out to Long Island, and I was, of course, heartbroken. Lived on 207th Street, got to play baseball every day because there was a kid in every house.
Well, I noticed all those baseballs behind you, and we had a little conversation and how you got them. But the reason why I asked that is that what led you to get into the industry and the community that you support now? When you were a kid, I'm sure you said you were a pretty good high school baseball player.
Yeah, when you're growing up, you don't know really what you want to do. Of course, your parents want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or things like that. My father worked for Con Edison for 38 years. He was a VP there, and seeing him and what he went through, I knew I wasn't going to go into that field.
Right.
So, when I came out to the island, I was introduced to hockey, because in Queens it was just about baseball and football.
Yep.
And then, when I went to I went to Catholic school when I grew up too, so it was a whole different ball of wax. When you're a little kid in Queens to come out to the island now, and then you start going to public school. So based on a lot of those experiences, when I went to college, I knew I wanted to do something in the psychology world. And I wanted to get into a field that I could help people and make a difference. And, I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and then I got my master's degree in mental health counseling. And it really kind of led me into this field. I did some internships through my undergrad degree, and when I graduated, I said, I got to get a job. I got to start doing stuff, and it led me to this field, and I've been in it for 27 years.
27 years.
So you've been working with it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but ACLD pretty much caters to every age group that has learning disabilities and developmental disabilities, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We run the gambit of services across the board. We provide, our main population that we do support are adults, but we provide services for everybody.
So what kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of disabilities do the people that you serve, what's a typical disability because I want the audience to know, what you're offering and who you're offering it to, so they can get in touch with you if they need your help.
Absolutely. So in the developmental disability world, could be based on, your IQ, your cognitive ability. We have individuals that are on the autism spectrum. That range and that spectrum continues to grow and grow and grow as we hear every year with that population. We also have individuals with intellectual disabilities that may have cerebral palsy, but they have some other aspects from a medical perspective. So we really run the gambit of services for anybody that fits in any category of a developmental disability or on the autism spectrum, and mainly individuals that we provide support to have a diagnosis of a developmental disability prior to the onset of age 18.
All right, I just want to have Amy say hello, because the reason why you haven't spoken yet is we're saving you for the end. Yes, he's your boss, So he's leaving early. He has another commitment that he has to attend, and we appreciate you, Robert, for being here. But Amy, just tell everybody what you do and just a little bit about yourself, and then we'll hold off on you until the second half of the show.
Sure. I'm the Director of Development and Community Relations at AACLD. So I basically oversee and do all of the fundraising and marketing and public relations for the agency. So as we continue to expand, it's a pretty big job.
All right, if you want to go grab a beer now and come back in a little while.
She left early.
She's
Why
a
would you
young
say
lady.
grab a beer?
Because I know everyone would
Well, how
laugh.
do you know she doesn't like?
Maybe a
for
glass of
what?
wine.
A
So,
glass
you
of
know,
wine.
whatever.
I think a glass of wine.
Darren, I think you get me.
I know.
What was it
these
that she
things.
said? I didn't hear.
She goes, I think you get me.
Oh, there you go. There you are.
See, I pick up better on that. You don't offer a beer to a young lady. You offer a glass of wine.
You do. I offer a beer. Then I know what I'm getting.
And as we digress, one of the things you did not mention, Music Man, was in the beginning that you said today was Tuesday, Wednesday, but you didn't mention that this is Give Back Tuesday, Wednesday week. We're doing
I think you missed it.
No, you didn't
I
say
did
it.
explain why
No,
Tuesday
you said-
and Wednesday.
No, you
All right, I
explained it
didn't.
to
I
them
agree.
before.
Okay, go ahead.
But it is Give Back Wednesday when we give back
But it's Tuesday.
to organizations such as ACLD, bring them on and enable our listeners to actually get services or be able to help people out there who need help.
But you didn't say why they're on Tuesday.
Well, they're on Tuesday because you booked Wednesday. And
No.
they needed to come on.
They're on Tuesday because they have a special event that's coming up on April 10th that happens to include Friend Entertainment in
Yes,
their fundraising.
I know, but
that's
you
why
were-
they're here on Tuesday, because next Saturday is the show.
Right, but also they're here Tuesday because you already booked Wednesday.
This is their show. Let them talk.
Anyway, so so getting back to it, ACLD is a great organization. Let's tell everybody how they can reach out to you. Now, the Music Man mentioned the show, so if you want to get tickets for this show, go to virtualtributeconcerts.com/Billy-Joel-tribute, & mark code ACLD. It's on the bottom there. But if you want to get in touch with ACLD and actually reach out to them, 516-822-0028 or www.acld.org. Or if you and they have I was on their page and it's just fantastic how it's set up. You can get involved, you can volunteer, you can help out, you can just say, hey, I want to help, or you can even donate. They have a donate button right on the site that you can go to and you can get that.
How much can they donate?
They can donate as much as they want.
All right.
All right.
Well, how much, Robert? How much do you want?
We want all of it.
All right.
Everything you can
You don't
spare.
even want to share it with anybody.
Go into your couches for the loose change. We'll take that.
All right. Robert, we're going to get back to you now for a second. You've been with ACLD for how long?
I've been with ACLD for the past 7 years.
7 years. And prior to that, you were at?
Prior to that, for 20 plus years, I was with AHRC Nassau.
Okay. So you have obviously a lot of administrative experience and a lot of new ideas that you brought to your previous company. What have you brought to ACLD that would say, Robert did this?
Well, I think one of the things that we have brought over the past 7 years is a shift in mindset into expansion of our services. And what I mean by that is there are homes called intermediate care facilities, which house some of the most difficult individuals based on their medical needs and their cognitive ability. The state gave an initiative to all provider agencies to take over some of the state-run ICFs and then convert them into smaller homes in the community. And ACLD jumped at the chance when I got here, and we took over 8 of those state-run ICFs, but actually will become 15 homes in the community. And those individuals, again, like I said, have some pressing medical needs and some cognitive deficiencies. So we really streamlined ACLD into really globally working with individuals of all types of disabilities with that initiative. In addition to that, prior to me coming to the organization, ACLD used to use a bus company for transportation services to and from their adult day programs. Well, we changed that because people were on buses for 2 hours at times going to and from their home to a day program. We brought all of those transportation services in-house. We have a fleet of over 250 vehicles.
How many?
About 250, over 250 vehicles.
Wow.
And we were able to create routes and utilize our existing staff, increase their hours so they got a little bit more money in their paycheck. And then we provide our own in-house transportation services with our staff, and no one is on a van for more than 60 minutes. In fact, most of them are on the van 30, 45 minutes. And we equipped all our vans with all the necessary safety features, GPS monitoring and tracking. So we have breadcrumb trails of when the van's picked up at the house and where it is, and in inclement weather, we can communicate with the van and say, you know what, take this route because that road is closed or there's an accident. And it really provides a much more safer and accurate depiction of the transportation services, which obviously makes our families feel very, very comfortable and safe. And our families are the backbone of our organization. All those services are provided to them and their children.
So one of the things, Robert, that you said, you know, as you started explaining your reach, you're just not regional in here, right? You said now that you're reaching out outside of New York and helping people outside of New York. Is that what I heard, or did I miss?
No, I think, well, earlier when we discussed it, we have our families outreach outside of New York. We provide a lot of services for, obviously, families, and a lot of their family members don't necessarily live in New York anymore. They live in Florida, they live in California, they live in Texas. So everything that we do in our organization, we provide outreach to all of them in their states, but we predominantly provide all our services in New York State through our Medicaid funding in Suffolk and Nassau counties.
How far out? You said the max that anyone will be on a bus would be 60 minutes. Does that leave out, like, say, Brooklyn or Staten Island?
Yes. Mainly our people, we do have some people that live on the outskirts of Queens that come to us, but mainly people that live and come to our day programs are in Suffolk and Nassau counties predominantly.
Yeah, because you can't.
Of course not.
Belt Parkway, that's an hour just in itself.
That's strangulation.
That's strangulation Parkway. Belt Parkway, you're not going to get there quickly by any means. So if anybody wants to ask a question, we're going to open the phone lines up now. Right. So if you have a question for Robert or Amy, call now 631-619-7500. That's
631-619-7500. And also, if you're a participant of ACLD, if you are a member and you have a child or you're involved with the organization and you got some nice things to say, if you don't have nice things to say, don't call. If you got nice things to say, we want to hear it. No, we don't.
Yes,
we want only nice things.
We want it. We want to hear about. I'm sure we're only going to hear about nice things. But either chat us up, or actually give us a call. Let us know what your experience has been. And I'm sure there are a lot of families out there that just don't know what to do. And an organization like ACLD can help your family members, you can, or friends or whatever it may be, live a better life, because that's what this is all about, right? Is that you're giving these people a better life by giving them, jobs and things to do. And do you have job programs for the adults? Is that kind of what you're doing, Robert?
Yes, we have what you call a vocational department, supportive employment, that provides job coaching and services for over 250 individuals. ACLD itself provides jobs for close to 60 individuals. We have our own cleaning crew services that not only clean our buildings, but clean the Huntington DMV and all these other contracts that we have in Nassau County. We also have a program called Rewearable that we collect clothes, we sort them, we package them, and we ship them overseas to other countries.
Nice.
That need those clothes, because there's a big market for clothes from the United States. So we do provide a lot of employment within ourselves. For example, one of my administrative assistants is an individual that has a disability that lives in our apartment program that we provide services to. When you
You
walk,
own the buildings?
excuse me?
Do you own the buildings?
We own some of the buildings that we have. We obviously have mortgages or own some of the homes.
Sure.
In our main administrative building, when you walk in, you'll be greeted by an individual with a disability. That is our greeter that answers the phones, that takes all the information and provides you with the direction of where you're going to go. So our vocational services is something that we're very, very proud of. It's one of the largest on the island, and we do provide a lot of supports in those areas.
Now, during COVID, which is for the last year and change, you must have had a really horrific stuff going on within the building, not with people getting COVID, but getting people to come to the school, to take daily classes and stuff. What kind of problems did you have, and how did you solve them?
Well, obviously, no one was prepared for COVID when it happened. One of our nursing director, her name is Faith Mazzone, was slightly ahead of the curve in monitoring what was going on overseas in China. And she thought that something was going to happen here. So in January and February, we started to prepare internally. What's going to happen if this potential virus comes to the United States? How is it going to affect our population? Flu season is a very, very big thing with us. So we have a lot of protocols in place when we prepare for flu season. So we really ramped up those protocols for this COVID-19 that we didn't know was going to happen. But we got hit pretty hard. Obviously, when things shut down, we're governed by OPWDD, the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities. A lot of our direction is taken from them. We had no choice but to shut down our adult day programs in March. We really were proactive in our residential programs by putting in specific protocols to isolate individuals within their homes, to provide our staff with PPE equipment. So we actually started stockpiling some PPE equipment before the virus hit. And then when the virus hit, we were in the same boat like everybody else. We were scrounging around for masks. We were scrounging around for face shields, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, all of those things. And we did get, unfortunately, people got sick in some of our homes. We did have some loss of life, like most people did. But we created a respite center on our campus. So one of the things that we did was we said, all right, we have individuals getting sick in our homes or displaying symptoms. Because at that time, you may not have had a diagnosis of COVID-19, but if you showed, signs and symptoms, they automatically diagnosed you. We had a lot of issues with trying to get people to hospitals just to get tested, because if they didn't show 5 or 6 symptoms, they wouldn't take them to the hospital. So we really then felt that if someone has one symptom, they're going to treat it like it's this COVID-19 situation. So what we did was one of our day programs is located on our Bethpage campus, and it has 150 people that usually attend that program. So we have about 13 different rooms within that program, a full kitchen, nursing stations, etc. So what we did was we created a mini triage center, which we call the respite center from the state, in that building. So as people started to have signs and symptoms, we brought them into this respite center to help contain the spread of the other people in the house. Remember, our houses have 6 people, 8 people, 10 people living in it, with 3, 4, 5 staff at a time coming in and out of that house. We had people that were going to the hospital that were first coming out because the hospitals were overrun. We brought them to this respite center so they got a little bit better. We had round-the-clock staffing. We had nursing rounds. We had our chief medical officer do rounds there. We had a full kitchen to do meals. We ran cable in every single room and set up, TVs, dehumidifiers. We changed our ventilation system in our room, in the buildings, so we can get fresher air, and we sanitized everything. That's something that we really did through the pandemic that helped mitigate the spread in our homes. And we were way above the curve of New York City. So if the curve was right here in New York City getting better, we were already up here because of all those systems and those protocols that we put in place. We only needed to have the respite center open for a month. That's how quickly we were able to mitigate over 40 plus locations and 400 people.
Great job.
That's fantastic.
Great
bravo.
job.
Good job there. Now, well, you got it sounds like you were having trouble getting assistance when you needed it from the state and other hospitals and everybody else. We know everybody was overwhelmed with this thing. What challenges? Because we hear about all of this stuff in the news, how, and I would equate you more to like almost like a nursing home. I'm not saying you are a nursing home, but in that same frame of getting help when you needed it, you were able to take a facility and say, here's what we're going to do. But a lot of other nursing homes weren't able to do that. Did you have issues like reaching out to get additional help from the state?
You know, at the time, the state was very overwhelmed with, they had no idea the impact and what effect it was going to have on our population. We were getting different guidelines every single day. The local municipalities were having issues just by all the calls that they were getting. And remember, our population is a different population. So when someone goes to the hospital and you can't go in with them, that doesn't work for our population.
Yeah, right.
They need assistance from our staff. We were being told, well, no one else can come in there. Well, that wasn't going to work for us. When we were told that, someone had labored breathing, but they had no other signs and symptoms. They didn't have a fever. Sorry, we can't send an ambulance there. We can't send someone to pick them up. So we really had to do a lot on our own to try to mitigate the signs and symptoms. And then when it got to the point where they did meet that criteria, then people were, brought to the hospital and things like that. But so we had a lot of challenges, just from local assistance. And we understood because everybody was having those issues. So that's why I said we wanted to be as proactive as we could have been and could be to try to take care of some of those things. And knock on wood, I would like to think that we were very successful.
Yeah, I would say you were very successful.
Sounds like to me you were very successful, and we congratulate you for that. Unfortunately, some other places, did not have the opportunity to be as proactive and as successful as you. So,
I'll also tell you that you've
that.
been successful making it to 7:30. So I know that you have to leave at 7:30. That was a segue. We set this up. He was going to tell me that when you got there.
I was not going to do that. So, Robin, I know we're coming up against the time where you have to leave. We really appreciate everything that you've done, for your people, and we appreciate all that you do for your clients and the people that you serve, and we appreciate that very much.
Great job you've done.
So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we have a big surprise. Actually, Norm has a big surprise.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah, he's gonna leave, so the show's only gonna get better. Trust me. That's it. But we're gonna bring on Patrick Farrell, who's actually gonna be the performer for your fundraiser. One of the performers a week from this Saturday. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we are going to be back here with Patrick Farrell. Thanks again, Robert.
And Amy. And
Robert, thanks again for being here. We really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks so much. Robert, see you next Saturday.
Take care.
Used to be real close. Said he couldn't go on the American way. Closed the shop, sold the house, bought a ticket to the West Coast.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel that daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Cioffi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
Okay, we are back with the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, and we have the lovely Amy Keegan from ACLD that is hanging in with us. How was the wine, by the way? Was the wine good?
Oh, it's delicious.
To finish the whole. Oh, never mind. I don't want to go into it. Anyway, Friend Entertainment has the privilege of being asked by ACLD to help them with their fundraising. No, due to COVID, for the last year and a half or so, charities have not been able to do any kind of serious fundraising as they used to. And Amy's job as Director of Development and Fundraising is just to do that. So we're going to find out from Amy what she's done over the last year and a half and how she has prevailed. But I want to introduce now, we're doing the show next Saturday at 8 p.m. On April 10th, and we are having probably one of the best known national tribute bands to Billy Joel that you will ever find. They are nationally renowned Billy Joel tribute band, and they're called Cold Harbor.
Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor. I'm so excited about having this guy on the phone. I'm looking at him, and he's staring. He wants to kill me now, but he won't want to kill me after I get finished with this. Our guest tonight, his name is Pat Farrell. Pat is a 6-time Grammy Award contender, not winner, but a contender. He is also the lead singer and the manager of Cold Spring Harbor, which is a Billy Joel tribute band. Now, Pat has has entertained crowds around the country of all ages. He's also sang the national anthem at Carnegie Hall, Shea Stadium, Giant Stadium. He's performed on the Fox Morning Show. He's been on QVC TV. He's recorded with Billy Joel. Everyone knows this guy, with Billy Joel saxophonist Richie Canada. He's played with the violinist from Celine Dion, Mark Wood. He's played with the trumpetist from, did I say that right? Trumpetist? The trumpet player, from Mark Anthony. He's done so much stuff. And Billy is going to be, let's just say, Pat's going to be next week with Cold Spring Harbor at the ACLD show. And we want to bring him on stage right now. And let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for the one and only Mr. Pat Farrell. How did I do? All right.
That was good.
He's numb.
We can't hear you, Pat.
I hope your music sounds better. We can't hear you.
He was speechless after that intro.
Anybody would be.
It's absolutely.
Pat, are you muted?
You're not muted on our side.
You're wide open here.
So it has to be something on your side.
Do you want to log out and try to log in again?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to try that again.
Okay, I'll take you off screen, Pat, and just give us a thumbs up when you're ready. All right, so Amy, now back to you. All right. Now, in this trying time, one of the things that you talked about was, raising money last year was a bear.
Was it non-existent?
Was non-existent. What did you do to be able to actually still raise money?
Well, we went into the year and actually were lucky enough to hold one in-person event before everything shut down. But we had to take a really long look at how we were going to be able to raise money without the ability to gather people inside. So like everyone else, we pivoted to a virtual platform. And we started with our first event in July. We did a virtual wine tasting event out east at Sparkling Point. And that kind of was the forerunner for us. We really just wanted to try and get our feet wet and see how we did with that. Did we have an audience that was willing to come out and raise money and help us by supporting us? And we found that, yes, people were absolutely tuning in and were there to try and help us raise money. So we pivoted from that event to a dueling pianos event in October that actually was pretty cool. We had a board member who had gone in person to see this dueling pianos event in the city. And he brought this idea to us, and we were able to raise $30,000 at that event.
Wow.
And
Good
then we
job.
ended.
Freeze at that point. Hold that
No,
one.
no.
That's a big one because we got Pat back.
We think Pat's got his technical
There we
difficulties.
go.
Hey, Pat.
You're on air.
No,
No, you're not.
Can't hear you. We can't hear you, Pat. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, I got you all the way up. I got you at 110. I don't know why we can't hear you. So anyway, you know, why? Yeah, I think he's going to log out and log back in. So $30,000 for a dueling pianos. Now, you did that virtually?
We did it entirely virtual with this entertainment company that does this in the city. They actually were doing it every weekend from the start of the pandemic. They just recently, I think last week, announced that they were hosting their first show in the city since everything shut down.
Wow.
But we used that.
What were you charging for a ticket? How many of your codes or whatever were sold?
We ended up, I think it was more than, I think it was about almost 100 households that purchased tickets. And we had sponsorship opportunities built around it. So that definitely helped to be able to bring in money.
Wonderful.
But I think what really helped us was that we were already planning an event in December because our annual gala was originally scheduled for October and obviously we couldn't host it. So we pivoted that entire event into the feel of what that event is normally to highlight ACLD and everything that's happened in the past year. And we ended up holding this event, Live, Love, Laugh, in December, where we had a comedian. We had some of our essential workers talk about what it was like for them during the pandemic and really got a chance to highlight some amazing stories of things that our staff did to safeguard our individuals. I mean, we had stories of people who helped to keep jobs in the vocational program. Because as you can imagine, a lot of people were laid off because a lot of the jobs that they were working were jobs that ended up, being eliminated. We had someone, one of our staff members, who had a person who was getting married in the apartment program, and his wedding was canceled, and he was devastated. So she offered up her backyard to hold the wedding, and she ended up getting all of Kings Park, the whole community, to rally around this couple, and they ended up having a beautiful day. It was the very definition of going above and beyond. So it was really an opportunity.
Did they have a drive-by wedding? Is that basically what it was?
No, they were able to hold it outside because it was the summer. They kept it under the minimum of what was allowed. Right. And they were able to host the wedding. And it really just gave us an opportunity to highlight some of the wonderful stories that came out of such a challenging year. And at that event, we ended up raising more than $155,000.
Whoa!
Wow!
What the hell are you doing with me?
Yeah, really. Why are you with this guy over here?
All right, let's see if Pat can come on now. Pat, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Right.
Yeah, we can hear you now, Pat. How
awesome.
Are you, my friend?
I'm very good. So I think you hear me from the computer now.
Yes.
So thanks for having me on, Darren and Norm and Amy. I was speechless the two times you try to bring me on.
Don't be.
I think the problem is I don't have a glass of wine. That's the main problem. So,
well, that's what Amy's doing very well with the wine, as we see. So Pat, tell me about how you became a Billy Joel tribute musician.
I was always as a kid growing up, I always had the sound and the look of a Billy. I stayed away from his music, believe it or not. And then it was about 15 years ago, I was performing live. Actually, I was doing a solo show and someone came up and said, you have to be in a Billy Joel tribute band. It was a band director. And he really sort of orchestrated the first Billy Joel tribute show with a band called Midnight Express. And that led to the formation of Cold Spring Harbor. And, it worked out well. So we've been around for over 11 years.
Wow.
We've made some great progress performing really all over the United States. We've been very fortunate to play the Super Bowl when it was in the Meadowlands. And right after that, we got hired to play the World Series, the New York Mets, and their VIP.
You see, that was actually the night. Doesn't mess around. We only get the prime of the prime.
That's it.
Yeah.
So Pat, you know, you said that you kind of stayed away from Billy's music. Is it because you weren't a big fan of the music, or it was just something that didn't interest you to do when you were younger?
No, I stayed away from his music because I sounded too much like him, and I didn't want to, you know, play stuff of someone I sounded too much like. I was a big Southern rock fan growing up, and you know, all kinds of different music, classic rock, and you know, it was until slowly but surely I continued to learn his songs, and I got the nickname of the Piano Man in high school, and you know, it just sort of developed over time. And then I ended up recording an album with Richie Cannata, met him. So I have this very strange connection with Billy's music, and it worked out very well. And we have a great show, great group of band members, and it's a lot of fun traveling all over the country with them.
You know, it's also, and I know you pretty well. You know me pretty well. We've known each other for a while. You are one of the nicest human beings on the entertainment side of the world that I have ever dealt with. You have,
now, you don't know. I pay $20 a compliment, so the check's in the mail.
I don't take checks. Well, give him cash. But
I was going to say it's very obvious because he's working with you.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, he's got to be a mensch to do that.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
he really, really is. He's just such a nice human being. By the way, say hello to Amy, Pat. Amy.
Yeah.
Pat,
yes, I did
Pat,
say
Amy.
hello to Amy. I did say hello to Amy.
Yes,
I didn't know it was
Hi,
gonna be a
Pat.
happy hour conference call. So, Amy, we're going to have to do this again, and I'll have to get a glass of wine. So, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Looking forward
play a
to
song.
the
I think
event
Billy
next
had a
week.
song that had a bottle of wine, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a big hit. The bottle of red, bottle of white.
That's it.
That's my favorite.
Amy would like the bottle. She doesn't want to go.
I don't know. I'm going to get some kind of reputation here.
Yeah, really. I mean, you know, so what I want to do, Pat, really quick, if I could, is just show a little sample of your band and what's going on. I pulled the promo video down from your YouTube site.
And what people are going to see next Saturday.
And give everybody a sample of what they're going to see and the reason why they should sign up for it. Not only because you're going to be able to see Pat, but because all the good that the money that, you know, you're going to buy your tickets and a portion of the proceeds are going to be going to AACLD, which is going to help so many people.
It's a great cause.
And that's the great thing. So let's take a quick look at Pat's band and, you know, Cold Spring Harbor. There you go.
Yeah.
You guys are the bomb, and ladies, you guys.
Yeah, that was a great show. That was recorded at one of the many shows we did this past summer. We were we had a summer residency at the Woodloch Pines Resort in Poconos, and we had performed there every week in 2017. We were invited back for 2020, and we were invited back this year, but right now scheduling is not really permitting it. And it's a fantastic resort. If you haven't gone to Woodloch Pines Resort, you must go. I call it a cruise ship on land. It's fantastic.
Really?
And the entertainment and the activities that they keep the kids. It's a really family-run resort. It's #1, I believe, in the country, family-owned resort, and it's been around since 1957. And people that run the entertainment there, the group of about 6 people, have been with the company for close to 40 years. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Crazy.
That's a good company. When people have been with a company for as long as that, you know, it's
especially in that industry.
So who's Nick Kangemi?
Nick Kangemi is actually one of the original band members. He's the drummer in the band.
Okay.
And, my cohort.
He's one of Billy's original members or one of your original members?
He's one of the original members of Cold Spring Harbor Band.
Well, he says you're a great band leader. Is he telling the truth or what's up?
No, he knows I pay $20 a compliment. So
so there you go. I'll put it right up on.
You
the
paid me
screen.
the same money you paid him.
So
well, he gets residuals.
Yeah. So Nick's watching, and Nick, you guys do a great job. I mean, you guys to me, you sound just like them. But Nick also was pretty surprised that you were speechless.
Yes.
Pat. So we find that you do that. Anyway, getting back to ACLD, why we're here. Talk about, Amy, why you wanted to do a tribute concert like this.
Well, when we heard about the opportunity, we thought it was so different than anything else that we had offered in the past year during this pandemic that we wanted to get involved. And once we met Norman, there was no way that we weren't going to do this.
No, also, Amy viewed a number of our shows before they made a decision on that they were going to go with Friend Entertainment and do this particular thing. So I thank you for that.
Absolutely. No, it was such a great opportunity. There was no way we were going to pass it up because we like to think outside the box. And this really just met that same quality.
Well, I am definitely outside the box. There's no doubt about that.
He's way outside the box. He's not even close to the box. So if you want to get tickets, all right.
The easiest way to go and get tickets, because that code number that's on there is a little bit long for everybody.
Right.
The best thing I'm sorry?
Just go to acld.org. That's the shortest route possible.
That's easy. You go to acld.org, or you go to virtualtributeconcerts.com, or you call Norman at 631-698-9696, and we will make sure that you get hooked up. And everybody that comes to a show, it's a donation. It's only $9.99. And if you want to make a $10 donation, it's all set up for you. So for a total of $19.99, you get to see a premiere show, premier Billy Joel tribute band with one of the best bands out there nationwide, nationally renowned Pat Farrell, Cold Spring Harbor. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next Saturday.
Thank you, Norm.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Amy. Looking forward to a great show and tuning in, everybody. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Have a good show, Pat.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye. So now it's just us again, Amy.
No more interruptions.
No more interruptions.
What other kind of events do you have coming up? I know you should have something besides the concert.
We do. We have our golf outing on Monday, June 7th at Glen Head Country Club. And we have our Poker for a Purpose event on Tuesday, July 13th.
Let me ask you about the Poker for Purpose.
Yeah, we're interested in that.
All right.
Tell us about it.
Tell me, first of all, in these COVID times, how are you going to pull off a Poker for Purpose event? I'm assuming that everybody's got to get in the same room and play poker.
Virtual?
Yes. But no, definitely not virtual, because we would lose the feel of the event.
Yes.
With all of the restrictions easing and more people getting vaccinated, we're able to hold the event outside under a tent.
Oh, wow.
Same thing with the golf outing too. People have been holding golf outings since last year.
Under a tent?
Caveat. Well, the dinner's outside.
Pretty big tent. Is it 9 holes or 18? Oh.
So as long as we can hold it outside under the tents, the dinner portion for the golf outing, and then obviously poker, it'll be the tables will be outside, and there'll be some inside also for like the casino and things like that. But we are adhering strictly. I'm sorry?
What kind is it? Draw poker? What kind of poker is it going to be? Different types of tables?
Everyone's playing the same kind of poker.
Which is?
Poker. She doesn't know.
I don't play poker.
It's the one with the cards. Just say it's the one with the cards.
Exactly. It's the one with the cards. And we'll have cigars too in an Airstream. So
all right, excellent.
Yeah,
so
that's a fun event. That one we were able to hold last year in person, and we raised $75,000 last year the last time we held it. So we've got a big committee that is fully committed to holding this event, and there's a lot of good responses to people wanting to turn out for it.
How many people do you get at these events, if you don't mind me asking?
In a non-COVID year?
Let's talk about non-COVID year, because COVID just kind of threw the monkey wrench into everything, right?
So our golf outing usually brings over 200 people. We usually have like 124 golfers that turn out for the day, and then we have a lot of people that come for dinner and cocktails. Mm-hmm. This year, that's obviously going to be scaled back because of the regulations that we have to adhere to. Poker usually has almost 200 people that attend. So as long as we keep it under 200, we should be able to hold that reasonably outside. But of course, everything's changing every day. So as those regulations ease up, that hopefully will help us to get the fall events back into some kind of normalcy.
So, okay, so now you got October 7th, you're talking about your ball, your annual
our
ball.
Enviable Life Ball.
Which is what's probably your largest fundraiser of the year, right?
It is. We usually have about 320 people in attendance, and we raise over 300,000 at that event.
Right.
So this year, we are committed to holding it in a safe manner, but we don't know yet, obviously, if it's going to be 300 people or if it's going to be 250. It all depends on what the regulations are at that point in time.
Well, as of right now, best case scenario, it's at 20%. So if you have a room that's 500, it looks like you can only have about 100 people there.
No, it's actually changing. It is actually changing. I know as of 2 weeks ago, they were able to hold up to 150 people, but we have until October. So we're hoping that things will change significantly.
Well, I'm sure as more and more people get vaccinated, that's going to make a difference in what's going on and everything like that. So, I actually just went to a wedding Friday where at first when they, January, we weren't sure if everybody was going to be allowed to go. Right. And like you said, now it opened up to 150. So everybody was, because they had a little under 150 people. So everybody was allowed to go, and we had a great time. Right. It was weird walking around with the mask on most of the time. But here's the thing that I don't get. Okay. When you're up and walking around, you have to have your mask on. But when you're sitting at your table, you can take your mask off.
Yes.
Just like restaurants. You got to walk in with it, but when you sit down, you take it off.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the reasoning is with that, or the logic, I should say. But I think the masks are going to be around for a while.
For quite a while.
I think even with the vaccinations, I think that our events this year are definitely, if you want to attend, you'll have to be comfortable wearing a mask.
Amy, how do you deal with, I don't know if it's come up yet, how do you deal with people's mindset in regards to events that you're holding? People are still afraid to go to a restaurant or go, even when the venue's open. It's not just the fact that they'll be able to have more seats. Getting people to go is going to be, as much as they want to, they're leery about going any place where they have to be sitting next to somebody that they don't know.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a really great point. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're doing still a mix of virtual events, why we're doing something like the tribute concert, why we're looking for the fall to do a virtual trivia event and possibly another type of event that's on a virtual platform, because we want to be able to offer our supporters different ways for them to continue to get involved.
Let me ask you this: with your ball, right? If you're only limited, say, well, just for argument's sake, say you're limited to 150 people. Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you consider, and something to think about, would you consider having a virtual portion of it where people who could not or did not want to attend in person could still attend virtually?
Yes, I think without a doubt, if nothing changed and the restrictions remain the same as they are today, I think we absolutely would be looking to do some kind of hybrid, because I think it's more important for people to gather with us, whether virtually or in person, and really learn about what we've gone through and what we continue to go through this year, because it's not over and things are not back to normal. So I think to offer them an option to join us either way is probably going to be something that remains on the table.
So one more time, Amy, if you could, if people want to get a hold of you guys, how can they do it?
They can check us out at www.acld.org, or they can call our main offices at 516-822-0028.
All right. Excellent.
And to everybody again, next Saturday night, April 10th, Cold Spring Harbor Tribute Band to Billy Joel, proceeds being donated. Big portion of the proceeds being donated, because if I say proceeds being donated, then I get phone calls and say, I thought you said every penny is coming to AACLD. And we thank you very much, Amy, for being on tonight. I'm sure you and I will be speaking a few times during this week and next week to make everything finalized. And we thank you very much and wish you the best of luck. And tell my friend Heather I said hello.
I will. Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it. It was really a pleasure.
All right.
A lot of fun. Thank you, Amy.
Hang in there. What a great organization.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Really
I mean,
nice.
they do some,
She's
some
great.
great stuff. Yeah,
She's
she was
great.
fantastic.
Rob was terrific. You got to meet Heather. Heather also.
Heather,
very,
well,
very
you
nice.
said before the show started
Heather is really,
that
really
Heather,
nice.
you know, is very personable.
They both are.
And
Both wonderful ladies.
yeah, and Amy was like, no, I don't want Heather on the show. So, you know, that's...
And how good is Pat Carroll?
Pat was good. Pat Farrell.
Right?
You said Pat Carroll.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
you said
sorry.
Pat Carroll,
Pat
but that's all
Farrell.
right.
I did that a lot.
So what do you got coming up?
We have another show tomorrow night.
We got a show tomorrow night. We'll be back here at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, our
And
normal night.
more entertainment guests tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have more entertainment guests tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff going on. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow night right here on the Business Power Hour.
Before we say goodbye,
Mhm.
I had mentioned to you, we are
Right.
booking the Business Power Hour like crazy. All of a sudden, everybody woke
Yep.
up from COVID.
Mhm.
If you're interested on being on the Business Power Hour, or if you have a charity that would like to be on the Business Power Hour, please reach out, call me or call Darren. You can
Mhm.
reach me at 631-698-9696. And you can reach Darren at
844-987-CBMS. That's 844-987-2267.
And until tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, at 7 o'clock, we wish you adieu. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.